In the shadow of the world's highest peaks, nestled deep within Nepal's Solukhumbu region, lies the small village of Taksindu. It was here in 1965 that a boy named Babu Chiri Sherpa was born. For the Sherpa people, the Himalayas are not merely a landscape, they are sacred, a source of spiritual identity, and a formidable provider. Life in Taksindu was one of subsistence, dictated by the harsh rhythms of the seasons and the unyielding terrain. Opportunities were scarce, and the world beyond the high passes was a distant rumor. From his earliest days, Babu was surrounded by the colossal presence of the mountains, their icy summits piercing the sky, a constant reminder of the power and beauty that shaped his world and would ultimately define his destiny. Born into a poor farming family, Babu's childhood was not one of formal education, but of practical learning and hard labor. Like many boys his age, he was captivated by the sight of foreign climbing expeditions passing through his valley. He saw the strength and resilience of the Sherpa porters and guides, who carried immense loads with quiet dignity, making these ambitious journeys possible. For a young, strong boy with few prospects, this was more than a job. It was a path to adventure, a way to support his family, and a chance to test himself against the mountains he revered. At the age of just 15, he took his first steps on that path, joining the ranks of Himalayan porters. The life of a porter is one of brutal, relentless toil. Carrying loads that often exceeded their own body weight, they navigate treacherous trails, battling altitude, extreme weather, and exhaustion for meager pay. It is a crucible that forges incredible endurance or breaks the body and spirit. But Babu was different. He possessed a rare combination of phenomenal natural strength and an unshakable, positive spirit. He didn't just endure the work, he embraced it. He was known for his wide smile, his willingness to take on the heaviest loads, and his reliability. While others saw only the struggle, Babu saw an apprenticeship. He was meticulously learning the trails, observing the weather patterns, and absorbing the unwritten wisdom of the high mountains from the veteran Sherpas around him. His extraordinary work ethic and physical prowess did not go unnoticed. In the strict hierarchy of mountaineering expeditions, Babu ascended rapidly, proving his mettle above the base camps where the air thins and the risks multiply exponentially. In 1988, at the age of 23, Babu was selected as a climbing Sherpa for an expedition to Kangchenjunga. This was his moment. On this formidable mountain, he delivered a performance that would become the first chapter in his legend. While many of the world's best climbers relied on supplemental oxygen, Babu pushed for the top without it, moving with a speed and confidence that stunned his companions. But his achievement wasn't a solitary one. True to his nature, he spent his energy not just on his own ascent, but on assisting his fellow climbers, ensuring their safety and bolstering their resolve. Among those he helped was the legendary Kazakh climber Anatoly Bukriv, himself a titan of high-altitude mountaineering. For Babu to be supporting a climber of Bukriv's stature was a testament to his own world-class ability. When Babu Chiri Sherpa stood on the summit of Kangchenjunga, he wasn't just a hired guide, he was a peer among the world's best. He had proven that his connection to the mountains was more than just professional, it was innate. This spectacular success was not an end, but a powerful beginning. It announced the arrival of a new force in the Himalayas, a man whose name would soon become synonymous with the ultimate challenge, Mount Everest. In the pantheon of mountaineering gods, some legends are forged in speed, others in endurance. Babu Chiri Sherpa, however, carved his name into the very ice of Everest, with a feat that defies belief, a testament to a physiological gift that bordered on the superhuman. In May 1999, he ascended to the summit, the highest point on Earth, and simply stayed. For 21 hours, he remained in the heart of the death zone, that unforgiving realm above 8,000 meters where the human body begins to die, all without the aid of supplemental oxygen. To comprehend the magnitude of this achievement, one must understand the brutal reality of that altitude. The air contains only a third of the oxygen available at sea level. Without bottled oxygen, climbers can suffer from hypoxia, leading to impaired judgment, hallucinations, and eventually, organ failure. The risks of high-altitude cerebral edema, where the brain swells, or pulmonary edema, where the lungs fill with fluid, are catastrophically high. Survival is measured in hours, sometimes minutes. Yet Babu Chiri did not merely survive, he lived. He pitched a tent, endured temperatures of -30 degrees Celsius, and, as legend has it, even took the time to sing the Nepali national anthem, his voice a lonely, defiant tribute to his homeland from the roof of the world. It was a record, yes, but more than that, it was a profound statement, a demonstration of the unparalleled strength and resilience of the Sherpa people. As if his mastery of endurance wasn't enough, Babu then turned his attention to speed. A year later, in the spring of 2000, he shattered another of the mountain's most coveted records. While a typical summit push from base camp is a multi-week affair involving careful rotations for acclimatization, Babu accomplished the entire ascent in a breathtaking 16 hours and 56 minutes. This wasn't just climbing, it was a vertical sprint against the clock, and against the crushing physiological strain of rapid ascent. Moving that fast denies the body the crucial time it needs to adapt to the thinning air, dramatically increasing the danger of acute mountain sickness. It required an almost incomprehensible level of fitness and a deep, intuitive understanding of his own physical limits. While his record was eventually surpassed by other phenomenal Sherpa climbers, Babu's accomplishment redrew the map of what was considered possible on Everest. He set a new, audacious benchmark, proving that the mountain could be climbed not only with patience and fortitude, but with explosive, world-class athleticism. His dual records in both speed and endurance cemented his status as one of the most versatile and complete high-altitude mountaineers in history. Throughout his illustrious climbing career, Babu Chiri Sherpa summited Everest a total of 10 times, a staggering number that placed him in the elite echelons of Himalayan guides. From his first successful ascent in 1990, he became a fixture on the mountain, known not just for his records, but for his incredible strength, reliability, and calm leadership. In an environment where one mistake can be fatal, Babu was the guide clients trusted with their lives. He was a super Sherpa, a man whose physical capacity was matched only by his professionalism and his deep respect for Chomolungma, the mountain he considered a deity. His fame grew beyond the climbing community, making him a national hero in Nepal and a celebrated figure worldwide. But for Babu, the records and the accolades were not the end goal. They were a means to a much greater, more personal summit. Beyond the climber, Babu was a visionary and a philanthropist. He was also a passionate environmentalist, deeply troubled by the accumulating waste on the slopes of his beloved mountains and advocating for cleanup expeditions. But his primary mission, the driving force behind his perilous endeavors, was born from his own past. Having grown up in the remote village of Taksindu in the Solukhumbu region, Babu had no opportunity for formal education. He began his career as a porter at the age of 13, carrying heavy loads for trekking groups, and understood firsthand how a lack of education limited the future for the children of his community. He was determined to change that. He dreamed of building a school in his hometown, a place where the next generation of Sherpa children could learn to read, write, and engage with the wider world, giving them choices beyond the traditional and often dangerous work on the mountains. Having had no formal education himself, Babu recognized its profound power to unlock human potential and create a better life. The school became his Everest off the mountain. Every grueling climb, every record-breaking feat, was a step towards funding this dream. The school was eventually established, a sturdy building of stone and hope, and after his death, it was rightfully named the Babu Chiri Memorial School, an enduring monument to his ultimate legacy. To achieve his goal, Babu knew he needed to be more than just a strong climber, he needed a voice. With incredible determination, he taught himself to speak English, a skill that transformed his career and his mission. It allowed him to communicate directly with international clients, sponsors, and the media, bypassing intermediaries and articulating his own story and vision. He was no longer just a subject of articles, he was an author of his own narrative. He traveled the world, not just to climb, but to give lectures and presentations, using his celebrity status to raise awareness and funds for his school project. He became a global ambassador for the Sherpa people, challenging the stereotype of the silent, smiling porter and presenting a new image, that of a sophisticated, articulate, and driven leader who used the platform of mountaineering to enact meaningful social change for his community. While his philanthropic work defined his purpose, it was all built on a foundation of indisputable climbing genius. Over the years he climbed Everest 10 times, a remarkable feat of longevity and skill. His extraordinary physiology was evident long before his 21-hour summit stay. On his fifth ascent of Everest, he reached the top without supplemental oxygen, a feat that remains a benchmark of elite mountaineering. He also summited Cho Oyu, the world's sixth highest peak, twice. His passion for climbing was not confined to the Himalayas. He ventured to the US and Europe, climbing iconic peaks in the Alps and American West, sharing his expertise and absorbing new techniques. Each climb was a testament to his dedication, a reinforcement of the credibility that gave his voice such power. Babu Chiri Sherpa was a man who conquered the world's highest peaks, not for ego or glory, but to lift his entire community up with him. In 1999, Babu aimed to prove one could spend the night at Everest's summit without oxygen. With specially designed gear, he stayed active during the frigid night and set an incredible endurance record. The following year, he broke the speed record for the journey from base camp to the summit, placing him once again in the Guinness Book of Records. By 2001, Babu Chiri Sherpa was more than a climber. He was a living legend of the Himalayas. His return to Everest that spring was not just another expedition, but a homecoming to the mountain that had defined his life. He was leading his own team, confident and prepared for what he expected to be a straightforward ascent, his 11th successful summit. The atmosphere at base camp was one of anticipation, with climbers from around the world looking to Babu not just as a guide, but as an inspiration. For him, the mountain was a familiar, formidable partner. He had mastered its challenges, broken its records, and even spent a night on its summit. This climb was meant to be another chapter in his remarkable story. The team was in the midst of the crucial acclimatization period, a physically demanding but routine process of adjusting the body to the thin air of extreme altitude. On April 29th, while at Camp 2, situated around 6,500 meters in the western Qam, Babu decided to venture a short distance from his tent. He wasn't pushing for a summit or navigating a dangerous new route. He was doing something simple, something human. He wanted to take photographs of the surrounding peaks, capturing the sublime beauty he so deeply cherished. It was a calm day, the kind that can lull even the most experienced mountaineer into a false sense of security. The vast, snow-covered expanse of the glacier looked deceptively solid, a pristine white blanket hiding the mountain's deadliest traps. In a single, tragic moment, the ground beneath him gave way. He had stepped onto a fragile snow bridge concealing a deep, hidden crevasse. Without a sound, without a chance to cry out, the mountain he loved simply swallowed him whole. He fell nearly 100 feet into the icy darkness. When he failed to return to camp, concern quickly turned to alarm, and a search was immediately organized. But on the immense, featureless glacier, finding any trace of him seemed an impossible task. The next day, fellow climber Willie Benegas spotted an anomaly in the snow, a faint disturbance that led him to the crevasse's opening. Peering inside, the search party made the devastating discovery. The recovery effort that followed was a testament to the profound respect the entire climbing community held for Babu. It was a grueling, technical, and emotionally draining operation that lasted 8 long hours. Dozens of Sherpas, men who saw Babu as a brother and a hero, worked tirelessly alongside international climbers, refusing to leave him to the ice. They meticulously rigged a system of ropes and pulleys, descending into the frozen chasm to bring their fallen friend back to the surface. The news of his death sent a shockwave from the slopes of Everest to the valleys below. Babu Chiri Sherpa, the invincible man of the mountains, was gone. He was just 35 years old. He left behind his wife, Pasang Diki, and their 6 daughters, who now faced a future without their loving husband and father. The personal loss was immeasurable, a void left in the heart of a family that had been the bedrock of his life. His death was mourned as a national tragedy. In an unprecedented gesture, the Nepalese royal family and government stepped in, recognizing his immense contribution to the country. They promised to cover the full cost of his daughter's education at a prestigious school in Kathmandu, ensuring that the future Babu had worked so hard to build for them would not be lost. It was a powerful acknowledgement that Babu was not just a Sherpa, but a national hero whose legacy was worth preserving. The man who had stood on top of the world was laid to rest, but the story of his life, his courage, and his kindness would continue to echo from the highest peaks to the hearts of all who knew him.